We reduce, reuse, recycle. As Bob the Builder once said, reduce, reuse, recycle is the most important three-letter words in the world. Reduce, reuse, recycle, in the words of Bob the Builder. Obviously, that's got nothing to do with this live stream, but let's go with it anyway. Let's wait for this to conclude. Let's wait for this to load properly. Come on. Why should I wait this long? Maybe later. I don't need it to do it now. Asking me questions. Hope it's going to ask me now. Hey guys, good evening to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday evening. Hope you've all had a good day. Hope you've all had a good Tuesday evening. And I hope you're all looking forward to the rest of your week in June 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button and the share button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video. Hit the tweet button. Hit the retweet button. And remember to always remember the notification bell. You put that bell on at all times. You will receive dedicated brand new content planned for the rest of this year on the channel, on this community. We've got brand new UEFA Euro 2024 career modes with England, Belgium, the Dutch, Italy, Spain, Germany, and much more brand new content planned for the rest of this year on 2024 on the channel. So please subscribe if you're new, and good evening to everybody. And what a last 3 weeks it's been for Manchester United fans and Manchester United supporters across the globe. What a last 3 weeks it's been. It's been 3 weeks ago since we won the FA Cup final, which no one saw coming. No one saw Manchester United winning that FA Cup final and beating Man City at Wembley. No one saw that coming. Everybody expected Manchester United to roll over. Everyone expected Manchester United to give in to Man City's too much powerful play with certain technicians in their midfield and in their attack. And no one expected Erik ten Hag to outclass Pep Guardiola on that hot Saturday afternoon at Wembley, beating your arch rivals, the noisy half of Manchester 2-1 at Wembley, to lift Manchester United's second trophy in a row in 2 seasons under Erik ten Hag's management. And since then, it's been nothing more than drama after drama after drama after drama. We have been given no clarity for 3 weeks. There was meant to be a manager update ever since the FA Cup final. And finally, there will be no new manager talk, because David Ornstein broke the news about 10:30, 11:15, that Erik ten Hag is to stay on at Manchester United. I repeat, Erik ten Hag is to stay at Manchester United next season. What a relief, what an outcome. But the way Manchester United have dragged this out and dragged it out and dragged it out, for me, it's nothing more than a surprise. For me, leopards don't change their spots. This football club will never, ever learn. This football club will never, never change. And under the ownership of the Glazers, working alongside Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford, that Omar Bandia from Man City and potentially Dan Ashworth coming into the club as well, nothing will ever change with this football club. The amount of leaks, the amount of stories, the amount of public information that has been leaked out on every social media account across the globe. Manchester United will never, ever learn when to listen or to learn from their own simple mistakes. But today we have got that clarity and we've got that final conclusion that will stop any momentum of trying to force Erik ten Hag out of this football club. Erik ten Hag, breaking news, is to stay at Manchester United for next season. I think for me now, it's a massive sigh of relief for the fans. It's a massive fresh air for the supporters. It's enough of the bullshit. It's enough of the PR, and it's enough of those so-called blue tick PR people on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It shuts a lot of people down and a lot of journalists down that said Erik ten Hag was going to be sacked by Manchester United at the end of last season, no matter the outcome of their FA Cup result. If we won, we were going to sack him. If we lost, we were going to sack him anyway. But I think the way Manchester United have handled this is nothing more than a complete and utter shambles. It's been a disgrace. It's been pathetic. Every word under the dictionary, really, Manchester United could be written under. because it's been nothing more than a complete utter joke. The way they have handled this last 3 weeks, and the way the fans and the way the supporters have all been treated, is nothing more than vile. It's absolutely disgusting. We've been treated like shit on the bottom of someone's shoe. When you tread in dog shit or you tread in cat shit, when you're out and about and you've got it all over your shoes and you don't know how to get that shit off of your bottom of your shoe, you are basically walking through shit with the shit attached to you. That is how I feel the fans and supporters have been treated the last 3 weeks by this football club. And it's nothing more than a disgrace. The fans and supporters make this club for what it is today. Manchester United would not be a football club without the fans. It would be nothing without the supporters. It would be nothing about our commitment, our desire, and our passion to get this football club back to where it belongs, and that is number one in England, winning title after title, becoming Premier League champions again, becoming European champions, winning the FA Cup, winning the Carabao Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, the Community Shield. That is what it's about here. But I just think the way Manchester United have treated everybody has been nothing more than a joke, because it clearly shows that, for me, in my view, Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in, Ineos, Sir Dave Brailsford, the Omar Ben deal, I think everybody at this football club is massively responsible for this shambles. Massive, massive responsibility has to be taken by the owners and the board of this football club, because you've absolutely mugged Erik ten Hag off. You have treated him like shit. You have gone behind his back and treated him badly. And for me, Erik ten Hag is now in obviously deep discussions now to extend his contract at this football club. If I was Erik ten Hag now, knowing I've kept my job, knowing I've been given another season by these owners, for me, I would not sign that contract extension. And I'll tell you why. The owners and the board, who have been brought in to turn this club around, have gone behind his back and spoke to a lot of managers to try and force Erik ten Hag out. And at one stage, I was Erik ten Hag out. A lot of people can, clip it from a lot of live streams, from a lot of videos. I did state myself, I am massively, massively Erik ten Hag out after so many, many bad results last season. And there were quite a few bad results. But I think Erik ten Hag saved his job by winning that FA Cup. I think, as Man United are reporting and stating now, they were ready to sack him. They were ready to acknowledge that this manager needed to go after 2 seasons. Not one manager has lasted 2 seasons at this club, except Erik ten Hag and Jose Mourinho, and Solskjaer as well. Not one manager lasted very long at this club after 1 or 2 seasons. They were out the door and they were gone. Man United coming out tonight and briefing that they've kept Erik ten Hag in charge, and after numerous talks today and numerous, negotiations with many different managers behind the scenes, they've decided they've had to give in. And the board and the owners are probably in massive, massive disagreements about the direction that they want the club to go in. I don't think Manchester United had much choice. I think Manchester United had to keep Erik ten Hag in charge, because all the people apparently they've spoken to, they weren't left impressed by. And again, can you really be surprised? Because I think Erik ten Hag gets what this club's about. That's winning trophies and being successful and being the best club in England and in Europe again. I think Erik ten Hag gets what the fans and supporters are seeing on the pitch. And I think he gets the frustrations and the disappointment that we get from poor results. And I think Erik ten Hag has taken that to heart, because I think Erik ten Hag obviously wants to be able to get his Manchester United DNA across. I think he hasn't really had the backing in the last 2 or 3 transfer windows to be able to deliver that project. And I think, like I said, the Glazers have massively thrown him under the bus. But hopefully now, this clarity that we've got late on this Tuesday night, it's 11:10 here in the UK. Man United should have got this done earlier. I think the way we've handled it and the time to release this information that we are keeping Erik ten Hag, Manchester United need to do better. Manchester United need to start listening, and Manchester United need to start learning from lessons from the past. because we cannot keep repeating this process of we are going to sack a manager, repeat the cycle 2 years later, sack a manager, repeat the cycle 2 years later. This has got to stop because Manchester United will get nowhere by repeating the cycle. They will get absolutely nowhere by carrying on to repeat the cycle 2 years after 2 years after 2 years. We won't get anywhere if Manchester United carry on with their naive denial ways. I thought Ineos coming in was going to turn this club around. I'm sorry to say, tonight, I trust Erik Ten Hag. I don't trust the people above him. I do not trust these owners. I don't trust the board. And I don't trust Ineos. I think all we've seen from the last 3 weeks from certain journalists who have got blue ticks on Twitter who have basically thrown this manager under the bus 2 or 3 days before that FA Cup final. They stated Erik Ten Hag was gone. Erik Ten Hag had been sacked. Erik Ten Hag had been shown the door. And what Manchester United have fucked up on is they didn't expect that type of performance in the FA Cup final. They didn't expect those players or that team to turn up. They didn't expect Manchester United to win that trophy. They didn't expect Ten Hag's side to be able to turn up and batter Manchester City, which we did very, very comfortably. I think Ineos, Sir Dave Brailsford, and the rest of the Muppets that have been brought in under Ineos have absolutely shat the bed, they've shat their pants, and they panicked because they basically thought a decision was made up. A decision was final, sealed, and delivered. Ineos have come into this club and have absolutely exposed their pure, utter incompetence. From day one, soon as Ineos came in, I knew from day one they were going to absolutely be Glazers 2.0, which for me, they are still Glazers 2.0. They're working alongside the Glazers. How can anyone be trusted at this football club when you are working with the Glazers? How can you be able to get this club moving in a positive direction when you are working with the Glazers? And we know what happens then if you work with them. We get nothing but crap season after crap season. Erik Ten Hag is very, very lucky he's kept his job because at times I would have sacked him during last season because I think some of the performances were abysmal. Finishing bottom of our Champions League group was a disgrace. Not defending the Carabao Cup was inexcusable. Winning the FA Cup, a terrible Premier League season, lowest finish ever, lowest point finish ever. And we basically finished without any European football. When we beat Brighton on the final day of the Premier League season, we had no Champions League football. We had no European football at all. We finished 8th. Manchester United's lowest ever Premier League finish in history. Our lowest points finish ever in history. We were nowhere near Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. We finished in 8th. And I think for me, the writing was on the wall then. I deep down thought, you know what, Ten Hag's a goner here. There's no European football here. We are basically now having to pray for miracles and beat Manchester City and get into Europa League. And I know that is not where we want to be. We don't want to be in Europa League. We don't want to be in Europa Conference League. We want to be at Europe's elite table. But like my friend Liam has said, do Manchester United really feel they're good enough to compete in the Champions League? I don't think we are. Based on the players we've got and based on the squad we have, those players would not be able to compete in the Champions League very long. That is why I said last season that Champions League group is going to be tough. And people said, you're going to walk the group, and you're going to be fine. I said to them, we are going to find this group tough. You've got the champions of Denmark, the champions of Turkey, and the champions of Germany all in one group, with Manchester United, who have only just got top 4 in season 1. How was anyone expecting Manchester United to be able to compete in that group? You should be beating Galatasaray at home and away. You should be beating FC Copenhagen at home and away. And somehow maybe take a point or two against Bayern Munich in both games. We didn't even do that. And I think for me, soon as we went out the Champions League and we were out of European football altogether, I think Ten Hag was screwed, because I think you think to yourself, if this is going to happen in the Champions League, what's going to happen to our Premier League campaign? Once we went out of Europe, our Premier League campaign absolutely fell apart. I couldn't believe how bad last season was, but I wasn't surprised by it, because I felt sorry for Ten Hag in the last two transfer windows where he got given fuck all in January of this year. Last summer was a disgrace, bringing in people like Reguilon, Bandia, and Amrabat, and that didn't work either. And it was an absolute shambles. And hello to Paul Tanner in the chat. Hello, mate. I'm buzzing you staying. I'm ecstatic out of Ten Hag staying. I think Man United had no choice, but Man United have screwed up on other candidates. This is why Erik Ten Hag is still in the job. But if I'm Erik Ten Hag and I'm walking back into Carrington to get those players on the side for season 3, I would feel betrayed. I would feel very pissed off. I would be very open to say, how dare you go behind my back and talk to other managers behind my back? I'm on holiday. I've won you the FA Cup. I've got you into Europe, and you've gone behind my back without my no power. And you've basically gone and talked to Tuchel. You've talked to Southgate. You've talked to De Zerbi and Potter and Tuchel. They have talked to so many managers behind Erik Ten Hag's back. How can Erik Ten Hag go into that dressing room or go into the boardroom knowing these people tried to get rid of me? Ineos tried to get rid of me. So Jim Ratcliffe wanted me out. Dave Brailsford wanted me out. The Glazers wanted me gone. I'm now having to work with them, but I'm going to have a less involvement in the recruitment. For me, is that a positive or is that a negative? Ineos are going to be in control of the summer budget. Ineos are going to be in control of the transfers. Erik Ten Hag's involvement in transfers is going to be less and less now under this so-called brand new football club, this brand new ownership. If I was Ten Hag and I'm being told, well, we're taking control of the recruitment, we will bring you players in for the club, but not for you. How can Erik Ten Hag be satisfied? Well, maybe I don't want that player. Maybe I don't want this player. How can Erik Ten Hag be able to trust these Muppets? I don't trust Ineos. I just don't have a gut feeling I can trust them, because they've made a big call tonight, and I think it's the correct one. I would have liked Tuchel if Man United was able to get hold of him. But the problem is with Thomas Tuchel, look what happened at Bayern Munich. He had Harry Kane, Kimmich, Gnabry, Sane, Goretzka, Müller, Alphonso Davies, Manuel Neuer. Bayern Munich were absolutely destroyed in the Bundesliga, and Tuchel was sacked. And they begged him in the end to stay on till the end of the season, until they got rid of him. And Bayern Munich now are looking pretty stupid, because what's happened here is Bayern Munich have sacked Tuchel and brought in Vincent Kompany, who got Burnley relegated from Premier League straight back down to the Championship, where that BTEC fucking Blackburn belong. They've brought Vincent Kompany in, but the problem is at Bayern Munich, I think they sacked Tuchel because they knew he was going to get the United job. He was nailed on to be Man United's 7th manager in 11 years, by the way. Tuchel was nailed on to get the job. The problem is with Thomas Tuchel, he wanted to integrate Jadon Sancho back into the team, but they felt Ineos. They couldn't bring in a manager who they thought, you want to bring Jadon Sancho back into the team. Look what he just did to Erik Ten Hag. Look at the way he went on social media and criticised him and the way he wasn't getting picked or selected into United's team. He slagged him off and basically shut on the fans and shut on supporters. We got him a loan move back to Dortmund. Sancho's a completely different player again. But you want to bring him back to this club knowing what Sancho did last season. I don't know if that's the right thing or the right thing or the wrong thing to do. But maybe bringing Sancho back in, maybe that put the final nail in the coffin for Tuchel to get the United job, because Ineos probably felt, you're telling me you want to bring Sancho back in for what he did to Ten Hag and basically shat on everyone connected with the football club. And you thought that would be a genius idea to bring him back into this group of players who basically don't now trust Sancho because the way he handled his conduct and his behaviour under Erik ten Hag. And I think again, Ineos have been are stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if they knew Tuchel wanted to bring back Sancho, that probably ended the talks very, very quickly. Because if Tuchel could have got the best out of Sancho, Sancho might have got back into that United team quite easily. And Paul Towns can I ask just a question? Is Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood now back at the club? They are back at the club, but the problem is we're now selling them because United want to go and get some wingers. I'm hoping this clarity on the manager tonight is going to start speeding up the transfers, because we've seen players already go to clubs that we want, and United have sat around for 3 fucking weeks. Let's be honest here. I know the transfer window's not open, and I get that and I understand that. The problem is our rivals are moving. Villa are moving players. Newcastle, Tottenham, West Ham. Everyone in the Prem is adding to their team. They're bringing in better players to improve their squad. Because Manchester United have wasted 3 fucking weeks here, we have fallen behind even further because of the incompetence and the stupidity of ownership like Ineos and the Glazers. We are now 3 weeks behind a transfer window. I know it doesn't open until Friday, and I get that. But Manchester United needed to start moving no matter what happened with Ten Hag. And apparently Greenwood has signed a new contract. Yeah, you have till 2026. But that is to try and get more money in from the sale. They want to sell him even though they've activated the year option onto his contract. That is why Greenwood's been given that contract extension. We are still looking to sell Greenwood. And I'm hoping now, as a fan base and supporters, we can start looking forward now instead of looking backwards. I still don't think the fans are going to be happy, because there's a lot of Ten Hag outers there who do want Ten Hag out, including myself. I wanted him gone. After Crystal Palace, I was done. You don't lose 4-0 to Crystal Palace. You just don't do that. But now, Ineos have got to pull a masterclass in the summer. They have got to pull an absolute masterclass to get any fans or supporters back on side. Because a lot of people and a lot of fans, including myself, are very pissed off with the lack of movement Ineos have made. They've come in and have ran this club again into the ground, just like the Glazers. I thought we were meant to be improving. I thought we were meant to be making things better. What I've seen so far is absolute fuck all. I don't trust them. And there's a reason I don't, because I have seen this under the Glazers. And people think, well, give Ineos time. They can't work miracles in a few weeks. Well, they need to stop being sat down on their lazy ass then, twiddling their thumbs and fucking playing Football Manager, and do some work. Because if you've got lazy employees who are doing fuck all now, sat on their ass all day, don't come to this football club and run it like your own fucking Titanic. Because Manchester United are still pretty much like the Titanic here. We are still fucking sinking. And no matter what the appointment of the manager today, we've given Erik ten Hag a contract extension. We've given him another season as manager of this great football club. They've now got to start proving to the fans that we are going to turn this around. This sinking ship will be no longer. It'll be a completely different Manchester United. And Paul's put in the chat again, I hope we get another defender because Varane has left. Another one the Glazers are still in. Why are they still in? It's because the Glazers didn't want a full sale. They wanted to stay, and they didn't want a full sale. They wanted minority stake, and as soon as Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered that, they bit his fucking hand off. But I think for me, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a snake. I don't trust the bloke. He's telling fans to be patient. He's telling fans to wait. He's telling us to wait 3 or 4 years to being successful. No. That doesn't work with me. Don't come and tell me you want us to wait 3 to 4 more fucking years to get this club being successful again. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen with me, and it's not going to happen with a large section of this fan base. If you're telling the fans to be fucking patient, we've not won the Premier League for 11 years. We've not won the Champions League for 16. We've won the FA Cup. We didn't defend the Carabao Cup, so that's another year gone without the Carabao Cup being won. We haven't won a European trophy, really, since Jose Mourinho. And Ineos apparently are going to turn all this around. I just don't think, realistically, at this moment in time, Ineos, like I said, are going to have to prove a masterclass. Is there news about a new stadium? I've got no clue. I don't know. The stadium, I've got absolutely no clue what's happening with the stadium. I've been told nothing. Nothing's been led in concrete or a path of commitment. But at the moment in time, the focus is much on Erik ten Hag's future now because he is staying on as manager. I think he deserves to be given one more season. The worry for me, if it starts going wrong mid-season in season 3 and it goes wrong badly, are they willing to sack him mid-season if the results go pear-shaped and the players down tools and give up again? I just don't want to see a repeat of season 2 where players are winning player power. And a lot of players are probably very pissed off tonight. I think a few sections of those Man United players are going to be very, very, very pissed off that Ten Hag has kept his job. And to those players, you ain't going to be here. That's the problem these players don't realise. And I think they've hit the nail on the head here. A lot of these players who Ten Hag gone are going to be fucked off tonight because they think, oh shit, he's staying now. Oh, what do we do about our futures? What do? We didn't want him here and we're going to have to play under him again for another season. You're not going to be here, lads. A lot of these players, I think, now will be told to go. And I'm hoping we will get a lot of sales. I'm hoping we are going to see some front on the transfer news. I'm hoping that. But don't expect it to be quick. Do not expect it to be quick. But I think Man United have got to motor now. Because they are going to have to get a lot of people happy again. And they're going to be, well, here's our shiny new signing. Look what we've done. Look who we've brought in. Look how amazing we are. I mean, you look at the amount of games we've had under Ten Hag, and you look at the amount of players we've actually needed we don't have. You look at the lack of quality in our squad. There is a lot of it. There are so much positions in that team that need improving. The whole back four. We need a completely new back four. We need a new midfield three. We need a new front three. We need a new goalkeeper. I don't think Ineos are going to do that in the summer transfer window. I just don't trust them. And we've been linked to Veze and João Neves, yeah, and we've been linked to Elise. I think for me, those 3 signings would be absolutely crucial. I would love to see Eze at this club. I would love to see Elise at this club. I would love to see João Neves at this club. I think for me, those 3 have got to be the first 3 signings, and they've got to be made pretty quick. Because I know Chelsea are sneaking in the background, trying to get Elise in. I think now what's happened tonight is Man United have panicked. Man United have screwed themselves up because they think so, oh shit, we've kept him and now he's going to want backing. He's going to want certain players, but we've told him he's going to be less involved in that recruitment. That's not going to please Ten Hag. Because if there's certain players that he wants and he isn't going to be able to get them, that isn't backing the manager. That is throwing him under the bus again. We will see a repeat of January, I reckon. It'll be sell to buy, financial fair play. Sell to buy, financial fair play. That is what we're going to see all summer long. That is what we're going to see all summer long. I think we lose the first game of the Premier League. He will be gone. I don't think we don't need another striker. Bravo, Ten Hag is the right option to bring through our current crop of youngsters. I think, yeah, exactly. I think Ten Hag, is I think bringing in players like Kobe Mainu and obviously, Alejandro Garnacho has obviously kept him in his job as well. Because Ten Hag realises, I think maybe last season at the end, he realises that half those first team players aren't as good enough as the youth. But the problem is, what's coming through the youth? What's coming through those players? What's coming through that youth academy? We only had 2, and that was Garnacho and Kobe Mainu. That is all we had. The rest of that academy is shit. We don't have the players in the academy to bring through to the first team. We simply don't have them. Mainu and Garnacho have been very, very lucky that they have arrived on this stage and have taken Premier League football very, very quickly and have adapted to European football as well. They've been absolutely crucial to building a youthful attacking team. And maybe that is what we will do in the summer. We will go for youthful attacking players instead of going for the old, aging, retired pensioners we've brought in before, like Jack Butland and Weghorst. That should not be happening at Manchester United Football Club. That's a joke. You don't want to be established with bringing in players like Butland and Weghorst. And I know, we won trophies at United. You won the Carabao Cup. But what did you offer going forward? Fuck all. Butland didn't play a game. Weghorst was our striker to replace Ronaldo. I mean, for me, I'm very, very 50-50 where my commitment lies with Ineos. They still don't have my backing. They still do not have my backing despite tonight's announcement. They still do not have my backing because I want to see a summer transfer window now like never before. I want to see certain players gone. I want to see certain players being brought in. I want to see a different Man United team next season. I want to see a different starting lineup. I want to see this favouritism FC gone out of our club. And I want certain players to be told, you are not part of this club. We are letting you go no matter what. And you're not going to convince us to give you a new contract, and you're not going to convince us to stay either. I don't want to see that next season. That's one thing I think Ten Hag has got to stop. Certain players in that team are not good enough, and Ten Hag has got to realise it. Komeni will be our future players. Same with Garnacho. Completely agree. There's rumours, I've heard this from a lot of people, that we are linked with Ronaldo again. Yeah, that ain't going to happen under Erik Ten Hag. We will not bring Ronaldo back again. That will not happen. I think the only way that would happen is we win the Premier League and win the European Cup. And then Ronaldo's like, well, let's see what I can do now. If Ten Hag's not there, that's the only way Ronaldo comes back to the club, is that Ten Hag isn't there. That would not happen currently with this United setup. It simply wouldn't work. And I think now what we're getting is, this is going to be a new Manchester United. The summer's going to be very different. We've backed you, we've listened to the fans, we've listened to the supporters, and we've kept your manager. Now show us why we've kept him. And Ten Hag has still got a lot to prove. Ten Hag is going to still have doubters. He's still going to have a lot of outers. There's going to be a lot of Ten Hag inners that are going to be happy. There's going to be a lot of Ten Hag outers that are going to be very, very annoyed that Man United have stood by Ten Hag no matter what happened last season, and he should have still been sacked. Man United didn't know where to turn after tonight, and I think they've had no choice but to push the button and say, do you know what? We are going to keep Erik Ten Hag, and we're going to give him one more season. But if it goes wrong midway through mid-season of next season, they will have to make a decision very quickly, and they may have to sack him mid-season. I hope we don't have to see that, but I want to see now is back this manager. He is our manager. Erik Ten Hag is Manchester United. He is our manager for next season. That is the most important thing that we've got out tonight. We have got the clarity the fans and the supporters were desperate for. I don't think United could have gone through another week without telling anyone, because I think the shit and the crap they would have got off us would have been immense. And it's been a lot. I put a statement out tonight saying Ineos coming in has been the worst thing to ever happen to this club alongside the Glazers. It's papering over the cracks, no clarity on the manager, summer transfers up in smoke already, no clarity over a new stadium. I'm Ineos out, and I'm still Ineos out because they've made a decision based on that they wanted to sack him. So I don't think Ineos are going to be best pleased with their decision. I think Ineos are going to be very, very fucked off themselves. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, I think a lot of people in that club wanted Ten Hag out. They wanted Ten Hag gone, and they didn't want him to stay. And Ineos didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to turn to because all the candidates they wanted. I mean, how you can be linked with an Ipswich manager and Kieran McKenna, who's got back-to-back promotions, what does he do to get a Man United job? You've got Gareth Southgate, who they were desperate for. Let me remind you that. They were desperate for Gareth Southgate. They were absolutely desperate for Southgate. They really, really wanted Southgate as the manager. They wanted Southgate. They wanted De Zerbi. They wanted Potter. But the number one candidate they wanted was Tuchel. Man United were all over Thomas Tuchel. And even came out in tonight rumours yesterday that we've talked to Tuchel. There's an agreement that maybe we bring him in as the manager, Ten Hag's going to be gone, and we can announce the next few days. Tuchel ruined his chances by the Sanchez situation. And maybe, they should have said, well, you're not getting the job if you bring Jadon Sancho back. We do not want him here. Isn't Rashford leaving or staying? I have got absolutely no idea what's happening with Rashford. I think for me, he will be gone in the summer. I hope we cash in and bring someone better in. Has our new shirt been leaked yet? I mean, our shirts for next season have already been leaked. I mean, it's not a bloody surprise. We leak like a sieve. We've got more holes than a bucket. It's just, this is not Manchester United for me. This is a football club based on profit and revenue. And I think that's what the Glazers have done, as well as Jim Ratcliffe, because if we wanted to sack Ten Hag, apparently we don't have 10 million to sack him. Man United, all this stuff about we don't have money, is the biggest load of bullshit I have heard in my life. We don't have money. It is the biggest load of crap I have heard in my life. We've got no money. Man United are skin. Man United are cash strapped. Man United have got to sell. Man United have got to sell. Man United have got to sell. That is all we've heard again this summer. We've got to sell to buy financial fair play. Sell to buy financial fair play. Don't you dare do that to Ten Hag now you've kept him as manager. Don't you dare say to him, we are cash strapped. We're going to have to sell if you want new players brought in. We can't really do anything. We can't really spend anything. United have got money. And I think Ten Hag now has to be back properly. I think players he wants, they're going to have to listen. And I think if Ten Hag wants certain players, they have to be brought into the club. If he wants De Jong, they've got to go and get De Jong. If he wants Kane, they've got to go and get him. If he wants Elise, go and get him. If he wants Todibo, go and get him. United can't keep saying no now. Because if they've decided to keep Ten Hag, but they won't get players he wants, how's that backing your manager? So you're basically telling me, well, you're now less involved. We will get the signings of the players in. But I wanted that player. I didn't want him, and you've brought him in. I didn't want him. And that may cause a lot of friction. That may cause a lot of problems. If Ten Hag is not being given assurances that he's going to get certain players brought into the club, how is Ten Hag meant to do a job? That is my question. How is Erik Ten Hag meant to do his job if the Glazers and Sir Jim are still trying to sign off all the deals and they're basically saying no? That's not backing your manager. That is, do you not, Ten Hag, up yours. We've kept you on here. Now let us do our job and you do your job. I think maybe that is a positive. Maybe Ten Hag is getting less involved because he's got less control. But you've still got to deliver him the players. You can't just say, no, you're not getting him, you're not getting him, and you're not getting him. That is not backing your manager. You've got to deliver everything he wants to get this club to be able to succeed. We only just won the FA Cup, for God's sake. We're only just in Europe. I don't want to be in the Europa League. I hold my hands up. I don't want to be fucking playing Thursday night football again, where we're going to get fucking laughed at every night and every day before next season starts. And we're still getting laughed at now. There's a lot of rival fans going to be saying, ha, up yours. You know what? You've made an absolute mistake keeping Erik Ten Hag, the Wally brain. Erik Ten Hag's a clown. There are a lot of their rival fans are going to be pissed. A lot of them are going to be bantering us for all their jokes. Bring it on. The players I want at Man United next season is Eze, Elise, João Neves, and the players I want out is Maguire, Rashford, Amrabat, Johnny Evans, Anthony Onana, and Tom Heaton. Yeah, I think a lot of those players need to be told to go now. You're not part of the Erik Ten Hag rebuild and you're going to be out of this club no matter what. You're not going to force us into changing our decision. We will get rid of you if offers come in. A lot of these players are going to be bricking it tonight. I think a lot of those Man United players who are on international duty for the Euros are going to be panicking because I bet a certain amount of those players have been told, well, you're not going to be here next season. Even if Ten Hag stays or not, you're not going to be here. You're going to have to find yourself a new club. I still hope we are going to force these players out. Bringing in are going to be the quality that Ten Hag needs. I'm hoping things will speed up now. But Man United take forever and ever and ever and ever to get things done quickly. They take for fucking ever. And they don't mind doing it. They will take as long as they like. They don't fucking care. But it's about social interaction. It's about listening to what the fans and supporters want and giving us everything that we need and getting this manager to be successful. Erik Ten Hag can't have strings tied behind his back again. He can't be told he can't do this and he can't do that. That ain't fair. Isn't there news about David De Gea coming back? I mean, yeah, there has been rumours of David De Gea coming back. I would bring him back in a heartbeat because there's no reason why not. We can't bring De Gea back because that backup goalkeeper, Brandon, don't even want to be here. Another bad signing by Erik Ten Hag. And a lot of these players have been responsible because Erik Ten Hag wanted them. Erik Ten Hag wanted certain players brought into the club, but Erik Ten Hag was told no. But certain players he really wanted, he didn't get because the owners threw him under the bus and expected him to get on with it. That's the problem. But don't tell me there ain't going to be a massive rebuild. There needs to be a massive rebuild. Ten Hag needs to get that team fighting next season. He needs to get everyone on board. He needs to get better football tactically and playing better with and without the ball. We need to be dominating the whole game from the first minute to 90th minute. We need to be battering the opposition. We need to show that we are heading in the right direction. And I'm hoping now Erik Ten Hag is staying. He will now be a lot more happier and a lot more relaxed about his future because we've all known Erik Ten Hag knows about the club speaking to other managers. How is that going to make him feel as a person? That feels to me, the trust there's gone. The relationship there's completely broken. And Ten Hag now is, again, stuck between a rock and a hard place because if the Glazers and as Jim said, well, if we keep you on, you back off and let us recruit these players and you take it a step back from that and we will get you players. But are they bringing players in for him or are they bringing players in for the club for the commercial aspect? That's my worry. I want De Gea on number one again and get Onana out. I think they might bring De Gea back and beg and plead him to bring him in again. And what they'll do, they'll bench Onana and bring De Gea back in. That is what I think we might do. But Onana costs 60 million. They won't bench a 60 million goalkeeper because it's the commercial aspect. How much money is Onana bringing in through shirt and merchandise sales? They won't. At next season, what's going to happen at United? There's going to be a lack of reinforcements. There's going to be a lack of players being brought into the club. And there's going to be a lack of, there's going to be a lot of these players that are still here now are going to be still here next season. I think this is still papering over the cracks. I'm happy we've still kept Ten Hag. Do not get me wrong, because I didn't want to see Southgate. I didn't want to see Potter or De Zerbi or Pochettino. If Ruben Almiron from Sporting Lisbon was available, I might have made the push and gone and got him. Or Thomas Tuchel, I might still have gone to him. Both for me were my two favourite managers. I wanted to replace Ten Hag if they would have sacked him, which they haven't. And I'm grateful they haven't sacked Ten Hag. But is this the right decision? From the United fans and supporters, I want to hear from you. Is this the right decision for this football club? Is this the right thing to do to keep Ten Hag in charge? I think for me, we've had no choice but to do this because all the other managers we wanted, they wouldn't left impressed by. So Ineos have exposed themselves as well because tactically their chats and their conversations they've had with all these other managers to replace Ten Hag haven't worked out. All the managers they wanted have said no. All the other managers we were linked with have basically said up yours to Manchester United. We don't want to come to that unstable football club. Erik Ten Hag has had to do a job last season with two hands tied behind his back. He's had to do a job with apparently a massive injury crisis, which was complete bullshit. There was no injury crisis. Don't use that as an excuse because that was all we heard in press conferences. Injuries this, injuries that, injuries this, injuries that. It's going to be interesting to see the first press conference of the season by the body language and the facial expressions of Erik Ten Hag. It's going to be interesting now to see how he reacts knowing he's still the manager of this football club. I just hope we don't see season 3 and it falls apart even more because United will then panic. United will then be stuck, hitting their head up against a brick wall, trying to understand what the fuck they've done. They may have made the wrong decision, you know. They maybe have made the wrong decision keeping Ten Hag. Maybe he should have been given another chance. Maybe they should have pushed the button and got rid of him. Maybe that is what they should have done. But United have fucked up there because they don't know how to negotiate properly. They don't know how to offer themselves in a better aspect of a club. We are a club focused on money. We are a club focused on revenue and profit. We don't care about the footballing decisions on and off the pitch. That is number one priority. That's got to be decided. And Paul Tanner said, right, mate, I've got to go. Got some sleep. Have a good night. Yeah, you too, mate. Thanks for popping in for this live stream tonight. Appreciate it. Appreciate the comments and your chats. Everybody in the live chat, you're all amazing. But yeah, like Erik Ten Hag now has got a job to do. He's now got to realise he's going to have to hit certain targets. He's going to have to hit certain boundaries with next season. He's going to have to get it right. because we don't want to be midway through a Premier League season where it's then going to fucking crash and burn again. That is what I don't want. I don't want to be starting the season badly and then we're in a crisis midway through it, because we are going to have to pull the gun and basically say, do you know what? Ten Hag's going to have to go. It wasn't the right decision. It wasn't the correct one, and we paid the price for that. And that's probably why money's coming into this tonight. Money is coming into this very much tonight. I think this is all about money. If they sack Ten Hag, it's about 10 million. If they bring a new manager in, it's going to cost them even more. And if I hear Man United have got no money ever again as an excuse not to see a better summer transfer window, I'm going to be starting to blame a lot more on Ineos, because I want to see Sir Jim Ratcliffe put his money where his mouth is. I want to see him back this manager and give him the credentials to succeed. That is what I'm looking for from a manager as a Man United fan. I am looking for a brighter future. I am looking for better operations on and off the pitch. I'm looking for better players. I'm looking for a better squad. I'm looking for a better style of football. I'm looking for better footballing decisions off the pitch as well as on the pitch. I want to see this manager backed like never before. I want to see favouritism FC players told to go. I don't want to see Maguire, McTominay, Johnny Evans, Delot, Wan-Bissaka, Onana, Buendia, Hannibal Mabry, Pellistri, Sancho, Greenwood, and Rashford. I don't want to see these players at this football club. Casemiro, Ericsson, Amrabat. I don't want to see these players at this football club next season. United are going to have to keep their promise that there will be a major rebuild. Don't tell me we've only got 3 priority positions. We need more than that. You are going to have to splash the cash. And Ineos are going to have to provide. If they don't do it, I am fully Ineos out, because they have got to deliver their promises. And for me, if you're working alongside the Glazers, they've still got to sign all these deals off. They've still got to give the go-ahead to get certain players in. Certain players that have got to be got rid of, they've got to go. Cody's in the chat. Ethan Cody's in the chat. Let's go. Ethan's back. Let's fucking go. Hello, mate. Hope you're good. So, yeah, I think, at the end of the day, I want to see this football club back to where it is. And Ineos now have got to deliver what they have promised. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Hope you're good. We haven't spoken in absolutely ages. I can't remember the last time we actually spoke. Where have you been? Where have you been, mate? You've been missed. Where have you been? We've needed you, bruv. It's good to see you back. It's really, really good to see you back. Hope your channel's going to be back as well. Get back on YouTube, mate. Get your channel. Get your content back up, because it was a good watch. Get your channel back. Get your content back, mate. Do another channel. Been busy at college and at work. Completely understandable. Education is very important as well as work, obviously. Good to see you back, mate. Very, very, very good to see you back on this live stream. So, yeah, I'm buzzing by this decision. I just hope now Erik ten Hag's a different person. I hope we see a less stressed manager, because last season you could tell in so many matches when he was managing us, you could tell by the body language he wasn't happy. You could tell by the facial expressions that he was very, very fucked off and very, very pissed. You didn't need to, tie a string there to see how he was reacting to, certain questions in his press conference and certain things that are being said in journalism by certain journalists. We know who they all are. And a lot of them are probably eating a lot of humble pie tonight, saying that Ten Hag was going to be a goner. Well, come out tonight and apologise to the fans. Come out and apologise to the supporters, because you've really fucked off this fan base. And the problem is, you've made us very, very pissed off, and we're going to get very hyped up now, and we are going to want fucking repercussions for this. Right decision keeping him for United. I think it's the right decision, because United have screwed up. I think United have done this because they couldn't get any other manager. They were desperate for Southgate. That's my main point. I don't think they really wanted Tuchel. They didn't want Poch. They didn't want De Zerbi. And for me, they didn't really want Potter. They didn't want Tuchel. They wanted Southgate. They were absolutely desperate. I think Man United may have held on till after the Euros, depending on how far England actually get. I think they were desperately, desperately hoping that they were going to help England go out early, sack Ten Hag, bring in Southgate. That is what they wanted, and they didn't get it. 3 finals, 2 trophies in 2 years, quality manager. Exactly. I wanted Ten Hag in the first place. When we sat Solskjaer, brought in Ragnick, I thought Ragnick might have stayed on and worked alongside Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag was the right appointment in the first place. I never wanted any other manager, and I keep stating this. I never wanted any other manager. I wanted Ten Hag. Keeping him in, you've won 2 trophies in a row in 2 seasons in a row under this manager. So it clearly shows we are going in the right direction. He just needs to be given better players that can do the job in the whole game, in the whole 90 minutes. He needs to be given the funds. And United are going to have to spend. And people think, well, we've only got 100 million. They're going to have to quadruple that. They're going to have to 5 times that 100 million or even 6 times it. For me, realistically, and people may say you're out of your head talking bullcrap. I'm not talking bullcrap. I'm talking pure fact. United really have got to spend net this summer about 600 to 700 million. They have got to spend 600 to 700 million. That is what I think it's going to take. And people may say you're stupid. What are you on? That is what it's going to take. Because Man City do it, Liverpool do it, Chelsea do it, Tottenham do it, Villa are going to do it now they're in the Champions League, Newcastle will do it. Everyone above us is spending that type of money. Man United have got to start opening their eyes here to where the obvious problem is. We don't spend money properly. We spend money on big name players and expect their names to shine in big, bright, massive lights, like a bloody concert arena. We're seeing this big band or a big singer, and the lights they've got on stage are absolutely so brightening it fucking blinds you. Man United have got to realise if you want to win and get the better players, you are going to have to cough up the money. And all this financial fair play is a load of bullshit. It's the biggest myth in football ever. Clubs are not struggling financially. Football clubs are not struggling. All this bullshit that I see, clubs are struggling financially. Clubs are cash strapped. It's absolute myth. Clubs are not struggling financially. They have got money. Nobody wants to join a club that's falling apart in the Europa League. We're in Europe. Like, at least it's better than not being in Europe at all. I think that is where it points in a positive direction. We needed European football. And I'm really suffering my fucking hay fever. I've got a sore throat down my left side of my head. And whenever I swallow, it hurts. My fucking left ear's hurting. My eyes are running. My nose is fucking running as well. I'm really struggling with my hay fever. It's absolutely driving me nuts. Being in Europe was a matter of moments. United needed European football. United were desperate to get in Europe. We needed to be in Europa League. And for me, it's a competition that I think we can put focus into. We're going to have to go into it and we're going to have to win it. I think we can. I think we are going to be one of the strong favourites to win the Europa League next season. I think we will be one of the strong favourites to win that competition. I think we're going to go into that with a lot of trepidation because there's going to be a lot of European clubs that are going to be strong in to want to win a European trophy. They are going to want to go in and win it because it's an easy way back into the Champions League. If we don't get top 4, but we win the FA Cup and maybe the Europa League, that's still a successful season because you've then got back into the Champions League and the money and revenue, the Glazers will absolutely lost. Lost in the last round 16 last time in Europa. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that's made me feel a lot better. But it's better than nothing because it means that Ten Hag has probably done a good job in the end. Like winning the FA Cup's kept him the job. That is what I've got out of this tonight. Winning the FA Cup has kept Erik Ten Hag in a job. That is why he's here. This is why he's still the manager. That is why he's still at Manchester United Football Club. Because he won the FA Cup and he got United into the Europe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos were ready. They were ready. They were ready to pull the trigger on Ten Hag, no matter what the result. They were ready. And because we've won it, they panicked because they thought, we didn't expect this. We've already made a decision, but they've now gone and won the FA Cup. Now we're looking very stupid. Now what the fuck do we do? That doesn't fill me with confidence, by the way. If they already made a decision, but they've had to go back on their decision because of what happened in the FA Cup, it's not exactly great. That's not great confidence from the board level. If you could sign 3 players and sell 3 players, who would you have? I want to get Elise because I think proven track record on the right wing. I would love Elise at this club. Eze, I would love in the midfield next to Bruno or Kobe, or on the wing maybe. I'd love Eze and Elise from Palace. I think third one I'd bring would be João Neves, because I think he's the next big superstar in the midfield. I would love João Neves from Benfica. I think he's a massive upgrade on what we've got. We don't need McTominay. We don't need Hannibal Mabry. We don't need Casemiro. We don't need Mount. And then Eriksen we don't need. So I would love João Neves. Those would be the three I'd bring in. The three I would get rid of. I think there's more than three that I want to sell. Will United do it? I think the three I want out desperately is Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, and Marcus Rashford. All three of them have proved their point now. They're not good enough for this elite level club. They're not good enough. They're never going to be good enough. Centre back wise, well, we've been linked with Lenny Yoro from, is he play for Rennes? Or was it Lille? One of the two. I would love him at centre back for the replacement for Varane, but I think he'll end up at Real Madrid. I think for me, the most likely centre-back signing at the moment, looking at it from a bigger picture, I think because of the Nice connections, it's going to be Todibo. I think Todibo would be the most likely centre-back signing, and I think that might speed up now, and I hope the Elise deal speeds up now. But it proves if Man United can announce Ten Hag, how quickly can they get signings in? I think that's the next big talking point after tonight's announcement. How quickly are United going to delve into the transfer market? And Todibo is a world-class centre-back. Absolutely class centre-back. Consistent, puts in the graft, puts in a shift every game. I've watched a lot of Todibo last season, and he offers me so much confidence and quality going in at centre-half. I think it'd be a brilliant signing next to Martinez. But I would love Lenny Yoro as well. I would like to bring in two centre-backs, but maybe Braithwaite as well. But I don't think Man United will cough up. And Sesko did reject Arsenal today. Another L for Mikel Arteta he's going to have to take. Another player that's rejected Arsenal for fucking Leipzig. Which I think, for me, is a mistake. I think Sesko needed that next move. But maybe one more season at Leipzig might do him the world of good. Because maybe he's not ready for the next level of a top European club. Because Arsenal are a top European club. You're in the Champions League for next season. You deserve to be there because of the performances you put in. But I think Sesko would have been a class signing for Arsenal. I think it would have been a great signing for Manchester United, but we're not going to get him. So I don't think you're going to get Osman. I think keep dreaming if you're getting Osman. Keep bloody dreaming. You ain't getting Osman. This is where you end up with fucking Ivan Toney. I mean, that would be another elf that we can deliver the Arsenal fan base. Because all you lot won last season was a bottle top. But yeah, I think Osman would be a class signing for Arsenal. I think Sesko would have been a class signing for Arsenal. Probably just going to stick with Havertz. He does the job. Yeah, pretty true. Probably might stick with Havertz. Because he did do... I mean, I was wrong about Havertz, and he's done very, very well since he's gone to Arsenal. And he's got to be proud of what he's done. So, yeah, I think Arsenal will need a striker, and I still think they'll bring one in. It just depends who they get and what money they've got for that position, because Jesus clearly hasn't worked. I mean, I would take Jesus at Manchester United. I would take Jesus at Manchester United as the backup striker. I think he does a job. He did well for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. I would love Jesus at Manchester United. I've always rated the guy. I don't know why he gets so much stick on off the pitch, Jesus. I think he's a world-class striker. I think he's a great player. Especially if he has a good Euros, he'll come back full of confidence. Exactly. It depends how far Germany get, though. Germany are one of those two teams, really. They either do well or do really shit. So I think, it depends how Havertz does. But I would take Jesus, like I said, at United. I mean, he would be a great backup. But I think United need better. So I think, for me, the three priority targets for me, I think, for me, United will speed up Elise. They'll bring in a centre-back. And they'll bring in a midfielder. I think the rest is going to be on sales. I think, for me, it needs to be centre-back, midfielder, and Elise. And do you know what? I'd probably scrap that. I would go... Jesus can't finish. He's not a good striker. I would go striker, winger, centre-back, then move on to the midfielder. But I know United are desperate for João Neves, and I think they're going to try and get him. but they won't pay the 120. I mean, how Benfica can charge 120 million release clause and it's got to be met. Chelsea didn't pay Enzo Fernandez's release clause and still got the player. Man United will not pay João Neves' release clause, but I think for me he's a priority target. But I think for me, what I'm seeing a lot on X, a lot on Twitter, I would take Thuram from France. Yeah, another good player from Inter Milan, but I think Inter Milan would want big money. I think he's just signed a new contract as well, hasn't he? So I think Thuram will stay at Inter. Yeah, I think likely Elise will get sped up now because United are worried by the Chelsea threat. I think Todibo is going to have to be a must. But it'll be interesting to see the transfer window will start hotting up from Friday. I'm hoping. And like I said, I'm going to be talking about loads of transfers during the summer. I think you're going to see a lot of transfer news in and out of every club. I mean, we've got the here we go for Lloyd Kelly to Newcastle today on a free from Bournemouth, which obviously is a good signing under Eddie Howe. Obviously, the experience of playing under Eddie before at Bournemouth, quality player. I would have taken him at United. I think Lloyd Kelly's a very, very good, consistent player for Bournemouth. But yeah, I mean, Adam Wharton, I mean, again, another youthful prospect, but I know Man City are looking at him. I don't think he'll go to Arsenal, Adam Wharton. I think Pep wants him at City. But again, like I said now, after today's announcement that Ten Hag is staying, it's a matter of when and not if how much quicker Man United do deals. I think things are going to want to hot up very quickly. Pep wanted Rice. Yeah. I think Rice probably made a bloody idiotic decision going to Arsenal over Man City. But again, it's game time, isn't it? So I think that's why Rice went to Arsenal, because it was more game time. I think that's my view on it. But I think now, what I would like, I'd like to see United speed up on things. I'm hoping we get that. I really, really hope we get that. But United like to take their time. They don't like to rush things. Rice would bench Rodri. Completely disagree. I think Rodri's 10 times a better player than Rice. But I think, Rice maybe have been a better backup once Rodri goes, because Rodri can be at Man City forever, is he? So it's a big, big day for Manchester United. I mean, we've got that clarity we wanted. Ten Hag is staying on as manager next season. That is the break we have finally got. What a long 3 weeks it's been. Where's that FA Cup final win gone? I mean, it's been a long, quick 3 weeks, but United should have made this decision after the FA Cup. I don't know what they were waiting for, but it's after the review they've done. They've done a review on last season, and that's what they've taken. And they feel like the performance in the FA Cup final, as well as what Ten Hag had to manage without last season, without a lot of players, Yeah, I'm happy I'm happy we won the FA Cup as well. I'm absolutely buzzing that we won the FA Cup. I mean, it was nice to win another trophy. And like I said, I think Ten Hag's done miracles. He's been a masterclass. And I think Ten Hag deserves another season, but I'm hoping it doesn't go wrong midway through it. But let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens once that transfer window opens. For me, it's the best day of what we got the Euros and the summer transfer window starting on the same day. Transfer window opens Friday. Euros start on Friday. I mean, what a week it's going to be. All this month of Euro 2024 football, summer transfer window, it is going to be one hectic summer, and we will have everything covered on the channel for you. You've all been amazing. And this, again, is our first video for Man United's 24-25 season. That's another thing ticked off the bucket list. We are talking about next season because Ten Hag will be here. He will be your manager. 2 trophies in 2 years, in 2 seasons. Erik Ten Hag's the man. Erik Ten Hag is the man. Kobe Mainoo is manager by coming from an Arsenal fan. Yeah, Kobe's amazing. I absolutely love my Kobe Mainoo. He's amazing. World-class, phenomenal midfielder who's going to take European football and English football by storm. He's an absolute masterclass. Hopefully he starts for England in the midfield, and I think he's got to. I think Rice, Mainoo, Trent midfield, icing on the cake ready for England. England can't go wrong. But tonight, we have the breaking news. Erik Ten Hag is to stay at Manchester United next season. We've got the clarity. The future's been resolved. He is Manchester United manager next season. So, hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button and the share button. Please subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner if you're new. Share the video, hit the tweet button and the retweet button. Remember to always remember, notification bell, put the bell on all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout this year on the channel in 2024. We've got all the Euros covered. We are doing in England, France, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Portugal, Italy, Euro 2024 career modes on EFC 24. We're going to have the summer transfer window covered. We're going to have Euro 2024 covered as well. I'm really looking forward to these next few weeks and these next few days. It's an exciting months coming up and weeks and days for football fans. We've got Euro 2024. The summer transfer window opens on Friday as well. What a week it's going to be. But tonight is the icing on the cake. Erik ten Hag is to stay. Erik ten Hag is to stay as Manchester United's manager next season. Stay safe, be nice, and be kind. You're all legends, you're all legendary. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, United.